Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the rainy Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the relationship deteriorates over time. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So deterioration, that's exactly what happens in each and every narcissistic relationship until the relationship breaks and it ends. And the narcissist knows this, and now you are understanding that yes, these relationships are not healthy, they're not stable, they're built on quicksand, and they're built on houses of cards. There is no substance to the narcissist, they are an empty shell. What the narcissist wants to do is they want to have people fall into these relationships with them. Whatever the person is, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, romantic relationship, neighbor, coworker, colleague, acquaintance, teacher, professor, person in a religious group or organization, these people are all over the place. But what they want to do is they want to extract people's resources from them, and they want to take their energy from them. They want to take their soul and their purpose and their drive and their belief in themselves. This is what the narcissist wants to do. So let's take the familiar setting. Let's say that you were brought up in the household and one of your moms or dads was the narcissist, maybe both, who knows. But these people didn't build you up. What they did is they tried to drive wedges between you and perhaps the other parent, or you and your siblings, or you and your beliefs. Example, perhaps they told you things like, you'll never amount to anything. Why even go to university? No one in the family's graduated college yet. You won't be the first. Or you think you're gonna be a doctor? You'll never make it. No one will ever listen to you. They would say things like this. They wouldn't build you up, and they would try to tear you down because they saw in you what you couldn't see in yourself when you were younger. And specifically right now, what they saw was a person filled with empathy, filled with compassion, filled with drive, filled with the newness of life, the possibilities of abundance, and the doors opening up for you. You see, when you were younger, you believed what you were taught for the most part. And if you came out of a stable or healthier family setting, you probably understood that there are actually great people out there on the planet. Now flip it, if you are in the household with a lot of toxicity and a lot of negativity and perhaps narcissism, then you know that you didn't have the most stable upbringing, but still you made it and you're here. And you have probably achieved and or accomplished so many more things than the narcissist thought you would achieve, but maybe you even fooled yourself or shocked by your own accomplishments, meaning not fooled, but you were proud of your accomplishments, and that's what you should be. You see, at the core of the narcissistic relationship, the fundamental foundation that the narcissist does not want you to do is they don't want you to believe in yourself. They do want you to believe in the mask. They want you to believe that they are more powerful, that they're smarter, that they're more capable, that they know more, they're more knowledgeable. They're everything that you're not. And when the narcissist takes your belief away from you, it is a very, very challenging experience, to say the least, because when you're in these relationships, many times you lose your identity and you lose your sense of self to the narcissist. Specifically, if you were brought up in the narcissistic household because you listened to your parents because they were your parents. And if they turned out to be the narcissist, you had to do what they wanted you to do, or there was a very big consequence to pay. Now, same thing in the romantic relationship. Let's say that you fell in love with the narcissist. We now know that the narcissist cannot fall in love with you or virtually anybody. They care about only one person, which is not you, it is themselves. But what happened there is you were trapped in the zombie-like, trance-like state, the narcissistic fog, and you were giving to a fault. You were believing in the mask. You were a people pleaser, perhaps. Maybe you were a yes person. I can assure you, you did not have boundaries. You didn't know your worth and your value, and you were listening to what the narcissist wanted you to do because you kept on clinging on to that little possibility that they would throw you a breadcrumb of the love bomb stage or the euphoric stage. And you got that every once in a while. That was to keep you in line while they could continue to extract your resources from you, again, which include your time, your money, your love, your empathy, your energy, your status, your social circle, your health, your finances, all your hobbies, etc. They wanted to take you and they wanted to dismantle you, and then they wanted to put you back together the way they wanted you to be. They wanted to mold you into what they thought you should be, which again is a pawn or a puppet or a yes person. And when you're in that romantic relationship with the narcissist, you're understanding that that relationship is deteriorating quicker and quicker the longer you stayed in that relationship. And why that was very simply because the narcissist knew that they had you ensnared. They knew that they had you placed in that devaluation stage. And they also knew that perhaps you married them or relocated halfway around the globe or had children with them, etc., went into business with them, loaned them money. When one or all of these ties that kept you tethered to the narcissist, you did these things out of the kindness or the goodness of your heart. You didn't know that narcissism was prevalent on the planet and that you had fallen in love with a narcissist who can't fall in love with you. What you did know is that relationship was being chipped away at insidiously, day after day, week after week, month after month, maybe even year after year. And the relationship was not improving. It was getting worse. And you were experiencing more and more toxicity, more and more gaslighting. You were being triangulated more and more. You were experiencing rage fits. You were enduring the smear campaign. You were going to places that you never thought you would go to mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Financially, you were being abused. You didn't know what you were up against because, again, you weren't taught narcissism in school. What you did know is that this relationship was not improving. It was getting worse. And the more you wanted to build the relationship up and work for the relationship, in other words, have an adult conversation with the narcissist about moving forward in the same direction or keeping your wedding vows in tow that you took, the more they would pull away from you. And they would give you that smirk, and you would see the pitch blackness of the pupils, the beach balls, if you will, of filling up with supply, watching your life implode while they were pressing on the gas pedal of abuse. Because the narcissist does know what they were doing, and they knew that that relationship had an expiration date, and they knew that it would deteriorate over time. They were just trying to figure out when to either A, end the relationship themselves, B, string you around longer, or C, if you would wise up and if you would figure out who they were. Now, usually the narcissistic relationship, it ends with a thud, a crash, a bang, and usually the person, whom I'm certain was you, experiences the discard. The discard is one of the most challenging and trying periods of any person's existence on the planet. Then again, the whole narcissistic relationship was that as well. But when this comes to an end, it's unlike anything you've ever prepared for or experienced, because you put all of your love and your hope and your empathy into a person who took it and spun it around and threw it away. What they did is they took all of your goodness, all of your beautiful, bright, shining light, and all of your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, and they just crumbled them up like a sheet of paper and threw them away in the freeway. Now, I don't say that to trigger anybody or to upset you. The discard is a very, very challenging thing to go through. But then again, the ending of the relationship is also a very challenging thing to go through. The narcissistic relationship, as I mentioned a few moments ago, every single one of them will come to an end. It's just a matter of time when and how they end. And usually the narcissist will try to take as much of your resources from you before they discard you. And even then, they will try to take many of your resources post-narcissistic relationship because they want to continue to keep you stuck in limbo. They don't want you to heal. They don't want you to find that needle in a haystack. They don't want you to realize that you perhaps married a narcissist. And they don't want you to realize that, yeah, in fact, that relationship was deteriorating over time. And they knew it because they were the ones who were doing it. The narcissist knows exactly what they're doing. They know how to play each and every person that they do play. And they glom onto unsuspecting individuals who don't know what's going on. Usually they're empaths, but of course not always. But they're people that are looking for something. They're certainly people who are vulnerable. Many times people meet the narcissist at a wedding or a funeral or in a function or at a get-together or when they are new to a town, city, or community or organization or job, or if they've just relocated. When you are a vulnerable person and you do not know that narcissism is prevalent, you don't know what the signs are. You don't know what to look for. You don't know what triangulation is. And you don't know what the smear campaign is. Why would you know what these things are? You had no business knowing them, but now you know them, unfortunately, inside and out, because not only did you experience them, but you had to learn the terms and the definitions and the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. That's what we do. There's one thing that we need to do post-relationship, and we need to heal. The narcissist has nothing to heal from. And that relationship that you were a part of that was deteriorating every single day, they knew that that relationship would crack. They knew that eventually their mask would slip and that you would figure out that that relationship wasn't good for you. But not that you would figure out narcissism, but that you would be stuck, isolated all by yourself. Perhaps even in the house where you raise the kids, etc. It's not a fun place to be. It's not a good place to be, but that was me. And if that was you, drop comments below. The whole point that I'm trying to share with you is the healing path is not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal. If you slow your life down, if you implement boundaries, if you understand that the people that have exited your life post-narcissistic relationship, when they were watching your life deteriorate or your health deteriorate, and or both or all, these people, they at times will grab their popcorn and watch things go sideways for you. Some of these people are toxic themselves. other people are drinking the Kool-Aid of the narcissist smear campaign. There will be, maybe at times, some people who will support you. If you have anybody supporting you post-narcissistic relationship, you are fortunate. Believe that that person, if they're a genuine and authentic person, as are you, and I certainly am, if they have your best interest at heart, that's a good thing. Many of us had nobody. Many of us did not have a support system at all. Many of us had to figure this out all by ourselves on our own. Many of us had to put 2 and 2 together and continue to type in words, keywords in the search engine or in YouTube until we finally hit pay dirt and we said, wait a minute, that's what this is? I thought it was just a person who thought that they were the most beautiful person on the planet, maybe looking at the reflection in the water. That's not what narcissism is. That's one tiny little sliver of it, because they do believe that they're the best at everything, but they're not. What the real truth of the narcissistic person is they're a coward, a shallow, hollow, empty vessel who needs to mimic back things to other people and to trick them and trap them and manipulate them into relationships. And when, let's say, you were discarded or the relationship ended, this is how weak the narcissist is. Think about this. Why do you think they hoover you? They're hoovering you because, first of all, they don't think you're strong enough to break the trauma bond. But second of all, they themselves are the weak ones, but they didn't want you to figure it out. And they're testing the water to see if you will take a bite of the forbidden fruit one more time and go back to that narcissistic abusive relationship for another round. Don't accept a hoover. Do not accept a hoover. It is the narcissist, A, toying with you, B, seeing if you've healed, D, seeing if you believe in the masks still, and C, trying to see if you will go back for more and more punishment. The hoover will never benefit you. Then again, the narcissistic relationship never benefited you. Yes, throughout the body of the relationship, you had some good times and you had some pleasant experiences. Of course you did. The narcissist is still a human being, but they were not genuine experiences with the narcissist, because every time, let's say you did have a great couple of days or maybe a great month, well, what was behind the scenes there? What was behind the scenes was the narcissist was filled up with supply. Maybe it was coming from you. Maybe it was coming from a coworker. Maybe it was coming from your soon-to-be replacement. Maybe it was coming from a pet, a house, a trip you were about to take. I can't tell you what it was from, but yes, there are pockets of reasonable periods of time when you're in the narcissistic relationship, but those are few and far between. And if you weigh those, if you get out the pen and paper out and write down the pro-con list of the narcissistic relationship, you write the benefits of it and the not so good things about it, you're gonna find a very eye-opening list in front of your eyes. This is all part of the narcissistic abusive cycle. The narcissist knows that the relationship is deteriorating, and they know it's deteriorating quicker and quicker when you start to put up boundaries, or when you start to call them out, or when you don't take the bait when they're giving you the silent treatment, or when they gaslight you one too many times and you stand up for yourself and say, no, that's not what happened. What happened is here. I've got a picture on my smartphone. Check it out. Remember that? See this? See this? If you would do something like that, that would call out the narcissist again. And then they would be saying to themselves, wait a minute, I used to be able to manipulate them so much easier. I can't do it now. Now they're actually having hard evidence and proving that I'm wrong. But wait, I can't be wrong, because my tiny little Hollywood pea-brain script needs to keep rolling on and on and on. So I need to find someone who will believe in the gaslighting, who will believe in the mask. And this mask for this person, which was you, is getting old and cumbersome. And I've taken up as much of the resources as I possibly can. And now they're calling me out. So that is an indication that I need to go find a new supply. Oh, wait, that's right. I've already have a couple of them groomed. Which one will I select? I'm not sure. I think I'll get back up on the couch upstairs and I'll start texting the new supplies, plural, and see which one of them replies to me quicker and which one of them is really, really interested in becoming your replacement. This is what the narcissist does. They go from person to person, business to business, relationship to relationship, leaving a wake of destruction in their path, and they don't care about one person other than themselves. That's why the cycle will go on. The relationships will continue to deteriorate over time. People will eventually understand that they were with a narcissist. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but each and every one of us reveals ourselves in time. And to prove that, think about this. When you entered the relationship and it turned out to be with the toxic person, the narcissist, you didn't know what narcissism was, but then you figured it out. You got your first light bulb moment and you went down the rabbit holes of exploration and education, and you became awakened and aware. And now you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, that's what that person was? Well, yeah, and they revealed themselves. Did they come out and tell you who they are? No. But did they show you who they were when they perhaps discarded you? Of course they did. That's what these people do. Remember, any of your beautiful attributes, anything that's important to you, will be weaponized against you whenever the narcissist wants to. And that includes relationships, it includes your money, it includes assets, your time, your empathy, your love, your energy. It includes anything you want, your hopes, dreams, aspirations. If the narcissist knows it's important to you, it will be a target. That is why when you finally get the message and you go no contact and you block these people, delete them and remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them, then you understand that your energy will begin to return, your health will begin to return, your clarity will begin to return, and the narcissist will slither away into the darkness onto a new supply, unless they already have. But the whole point of this video before I close it is realizing and understanding that every narcissistic relationship deteriorates. You may say, well, wait a minute, Andrew, my ex, they've been married now for 5, 10, 20 years and everything looks like it's going great. It may look like it's going great, but behind the 4 walls of the house that they're living in, it's not unicorns and rainbows and puppies and butterflies. Remember, when you were with the narcissist, how it was. You were being gaslit, stonewalled. You can cut the tension of the air with a butter knife at any given moment when you're in the household, because that's how the narcissist wanted it. They wanted you not being free and being authentic and genuine and laughing and crying at a sad movie and doing things like that. They looked at your emotions as weak. They looked at you being a beautiful, bright, shining light as weak. They looked at your empathy as weak. And they knew all these things, so that's why they would repress you, and that's why they didn't want you to break free. That's why they wanted you to become an extension of them and lose your identity. I say the lose your identity part so frequently because that's what you do in these relationships. You become a shell of yourself, and it's not usually until it's too late, when the dust has settled and the smoke has cleared, that you're like, I can't believe I was even in that. Was that a dream? What was that? I don't get it. This is one of the aspects post-narcissistic relationship. When you get clear and when the doors of abundance open up for you, you understand that you're fortunate and you're blessed, and the narcissist tried to take you down, but they couldn't achieve that. Yes, they kept you captive for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, and yes, that relationship did deteriorate over time, but if you're in a stable or healthy relationship, it's not going to deteriorate. It's going to be built on a foundation of brick and mortar, a foundation of trust, of love, of honesty, of going forward in the same direction. That's not what the narcissistic relationship is built on. It's built on quicksand in a house of cards, and the narcissist knows this. Before I close the video, understand this. If the narcissist cared about the relationship, they wouldn't do what they have done. And they would have kept their vows, let's say their wedding vows, or the parental obligations to build up you if you were entered a narcissistic family and one of your parents was the narcissist. They didn't do that, though. They tried to distract you from your abundant, beautiful, bright, shining light future. So think about what I'm sharing with you. If you're in a stable or healthy relationship, it's a reciprocal relationship with 2 people working towards the same goals, and they're building each other up. That is not what you get in a narcissistic relationship. What you get there is nothing but people trying to gaslight you, smear campaign, triangulate you, invalidate you. They're trying to dump all their toxicity into you and have you not be you. They want to punish you for being you, and they never think you're going to figure it out. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And understand, the narcissistic relationship was deteriorating over time. You just didn't want to believe it. You saw the cracks in the armor. You saw the mask slip. You knew something was wrong, but you couldn't put your finger on it because you didn't have the words to put on the behaviors you were experiencing. And the narcissist knew this because they were the ones who were implementing the damage. They were the ones who were trying to destroy and break the relationship because they were looking for a new source of supply. And your pleasure is their pain. Your discomfort is their happy space, if you will. I hope you guys liked the video. I loved it. God bless you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and it's going to be sunny tomorrow. So God bless you all. I'll talk to you. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.